In Leo Tolstoy's Anna Karenina, he has this famous quote, "All happy families are alike. Each unhappy family is unhappy in the same way." And if you fast forward 150 years to Peter Thiel's book, 0 to 1, he takes that quote and kind of inverts it, adapts it to building companies, to entrepreneurship. And he says something like, every successful company is different. Every unsuccessful company is alike in the same way. And when we start building our projects, I'll call them projects, and maybe if we're lucky, they become companies, it's really natural to listen to this term we hear a lot, best practice. And best practices can get you, they can help you survive. They can maybe even get you off the ground, so to speak. But in my opinion, when you really want takeoff velocity, when you want to build something that changes your life and doesn't just fill your calendar, you need to start getting comfortable ignoring best practices while still being aware of them. And you've been watching the series, you know I've talked about this before, I've hinted at it, but today I want to walk through a few examples of what that looks like practically, to not use best practices and to just do things. And in a future episode, I'll follow up to see what the results of these little experiments are, because today they're very recent things that have just gone live. So let's take a look. First, our Model X device has partial refresh capabilities, but we don't really use it. And we've talked about it, how to tap into partial refresh, what would be the use case. But I got bored a few days ago and thought, let's just test it with a game. So now we're going to have Snake playable on your Terminal X, and it will send your score up to the server so that we can build a leaderboard on the main website. It's silly. It's not really aligned with our main point as a company, but it's kind of cool. And I just wanted to see, what would happen if we had a game like that. Next, we recently added something called Search Analytics. This is our production admin panel, and it allows us to see what people are looking for when they get no results, because then we can feed that in a loop to a Clanker, for example, and have them build those plugins so that we always have what people want. And sometimes it's just typos, but I caught this the other day, InPhase, and I've heard of InPhase. They do solar production, all kinds of cool stuff. And I thought, let's build an InPhase plugin. So we built the InPhase plugin, we launched it, and very quickly we got a handful of users, but we were hitting our API rate limits. So I went to go check out the InPhase pricing. We were on the free plan, and it's 1,000 hits per month, but you need like 4 hits to make one dashboard, and people want a new dashboard every 15, 30 minutes. So obviously this wasn't going to work. We could only support 8 users on this free plan. I reached out to the InPhase team and shared our issue. We don't have a subscription. We can't really pay too much money for this, and made a workaround. We just reported our plugin into a bring your own keys plugin, and it's working well. I reached back out to InPhase, kind of proud of myself, and they said, we're not allowed to do that. We shouldn't do that. We should pay. So I'm not going to reply to this email. We're just going to see what happens. And if they want to hurt our mutual customers and we won't have an InPhase plugin, then so be it. But I just had to give it a try. Another example, people think of their designs as like Uber IP to be protected. It wasn't too long ago that if you even wanted a company's logo, you would have to get in touch with their brand department and sign something that says you're not going to do something bad with their logo. I mean, it was crazy. Now it's a little more normal. Companies have like a brand page, a brand pack that you can download. But taking that a step further, what about the things that we actually sell, like our physical hardware products or designs? The other day, I just kind of felt like open sourcing this without talking to anybody else on the team. And now people can design their own terminal device frames. And one of the reasons we did this is because people weren't crazy about us having our logo here on the front. I don't think it's a big deal. Your $2,000 TV has a logo probably on the front, but whatever, I'm for the people. So we open source this, and I haven't noticed anything bad happen. But if some competitor comes out of where, and starts calling themselves TRMNL, I'll let you know if that was a bad choice. And then one more example. This was just last night. I was watching my favorite famous home renovation series on YouTube, and I was just noodling. And I've recently begun playing with AI, and I thought, let's just add a little interactivity to Terminal. So now we have the ability to build games. So introducing Terminal Arcade. We started with chess and Battleship. You can play these today on your devices, and they're kind of cool. They work. See if I can beat my wife at Battleship, and then she'll beat me at chess, and everybody goes home happy. We live together. So that's about it. I just wanted to share some examples. I don't know how any of these are going to play out, but I can guarantee you none of these would be recommended by a nonfiction book. None of these would be recommended by a venture capitalist blog post. None of these are best practices in any way. We've got me not knowing how to do embedded code, but doing it anyway. We've got creeping on search and then getting in trouble with the partner. And then we've got open sourcing IP that people weren't necessarily happy I open sourced. And now we've got games, which kind of makes no sense at all for a company like Terminal. But I wanted to give it a try. I wanted to see what happens. So happy Friday. Hope this was helpful. Until next time, stay focused.